If your web hosting account doesn't come with Fantastico or any other type of script to install WordPress automatically, you can still have it on your site by installing it manually, and I'm going to talk you through how to do it in this video. There are a couple of things that you must do first before you go to the WordPress site and download the software and then set up the settings and upload it to your website. Basically, you have to create a MySQL database for your blog, and you must create a user for that MySQL database. But it is actually quite a simple thing to do. If your web hosting package comes with cPanel, it's quite simple to do. Simply log into your control panel and scroll down to the bit that says Databases. Then click here where it says MySQL Database Wizard. Opens up this window, and then you need to give a new name to the database. The first part of the database will be set by your hosting company. So there'll be their name or your domain name and then a dash, and then you can enter your database. Let's call this Sam's blog and click on Next Step. Then you need to create a username, and once again the username's prefix is going to be set by your hosting company. So let's call this Sam001. And then the password, you can enter your own password, or you can click here on Password Generator and it'll generate a password for you. You need to make a note of this because you'll need it later on when we set up the WordPress installation file. So let's just copy that onto the clipboard. I'm going to say I've copied the password to a safe place. Click on Use Password, and there we go. Now I just need to copy all this information into a notepad file so that I can make a note of it and use it later on. So let's just do that. Let's open up Notepad. That's Sam001. Okay, now to save that, and then when that's done, simply click here on Create User to create the account. If your web hosting package comes with the Extend control panel, then the process is a bit simpler. What you do is come down to where it says Web Tools, click here on MySQL Databases, and with this what it does is it creates a database which has the same name as the actual username. So the database name and the username are the same, all bar the front part which will be set by the hosting provider. So if I create a username that says Sam001 and enter a password, you have to enter your own one here, and then click on Create. There we go, that database is created, and you can see I've just scrolled down a bit and it's giving it the prefix web156 username, password, and this will be the same for both. As I said, the username and password and database name rather will be exactly the same, so I would need to copy and paste that into the WordPress configuration file. If your hosting account comes with the Plesk Parallels panel, then the setup procedure is similar to that if you've got cPanel. You click here on Databases and then click Add New Database. Opens up this window. You type in the database name. Again, let's call this Sam's blog. And then click on OK. And there we go. The database has been created. Now I need to add a new database user. So click here on Add New Database User. And we add the username, so let's call that Sam001 again, and then you can put in the new password. You have to write it yourself here, and then click on OK, and there you are. Now that's all set up. Okay, now your databases are set up. The next stage is to download the WordPress software to your computer's hard drive. So come here to this website, wordpress.org/download, and then click on the button that says download WordPress, and it will have the latest version. At the time that I'm recording this video, it's version 3.2.1, although it may be a later one by the time you come to watch it. So just simply click to download it to your hard drive. It's quite a large file. As you can see there, it's 3 megabytes, so it can take a while to download if you're on a slow connection. Just click there. This pop-up window opens, and make sure the Save File radio button is selected and click on OK. And you can see it's downloading now. And there we are, that's finished. So all I need to do now is unzip it onto my computer's hard drive. And when it's unzipped, it'll look like this. It'll yield a directory called WordPress with these subdirectories and all these PHP files. Okay, first thing you have to do to set this up is to rename this file here. This says wp-config-sample.php, and you want to rename that just wp-config.php. You want to drop the sample bit. And then you want to open it using a program like Notepad or something like that. So just double click on that. I've got it associated to open up with Notepad. And you can see this is the PHP code for the file, the installation file. And you need to make a couple of changes. Most of the stuff here below here would not need to be changed, but you do need to change these settings here, the database name, username, password, and so on. Mostly your database host will be localhost, so you can leave that unless your server uses a different type of host name, and all the rest of the stuff you can leave. And this is why you need to save the information as you set up the databases. So let's just copy and paste those in. We can have the database name there. Do right click and copy, and then I can just simply paste it in there. Keep it in between the quotes there. So that's one. Okay, next thing to do is to put in these authentication keys and so on. Now, there is a quick way of doing this, and this is to generate your own phrases at this link here. So if I just copy and then right click, copy that, and now I just need to, I don't close that one now, I need to open up Firefox, and then I can simply paste this in to the address bar. And there we go, it's generated all this information for me. So I just highlight that and copy it, and then I can come back here and just simply paste this in as a block in here, like that. And there we go, that's all done. You don't need to change anything else at all. So I can now save that do file and save. And now I need to FTP, you can close that. And now I need to FTP all this content here up to my web server. You can use the file manager in your control panel to do this, but it can be a bit tricky as you'll have to create all the folders separately and then upload everything into each separate folder. So it's much easier if you use an FTP software package. The one that I like to use is FileZilla, which you can download for free from this website here, filezilla-project.org, and it just makes the whole process that much simpler. And this is what FileZilla looks like when it's up and running. I'm going to create a new directory on the server to install WordPress into. If you're going to have it as the main focus of your site, then you'd want to upload it into the root directory of your site. So if you're just going to have WordPress on your site, you'd want to upload it into the root directory of the site. On this particular server, they call it HTTP docs. On most other servers, they call it public HTML. Okay, so I'm going to right click and create directory, and we'll call this WordPress. And then click on OK. And what I can then do is simply open it up. Click on WordPress. You can see there's nothing there. FileZilla is actually a very easy type of FTP software to use. Once you've logged in, you'll find your remote site over here on the right and the local site here on the left. And what you do is go to the directory on your hard drive where you want to upload the information, and you can then simply highlight all of it. Click the first one, then do Shift and click, and that selects all of it. Then right click and click on Upload, and it will immediately start to upload the files that you've selected into the directory that you've selected on your hosting account. Okay, as you can see, there are 933 files to be transferred. It's going to take a while to do this, so what I'm going to do now is just pause the video and then come back to it when everything has been uploaded. And there we go, everything's uploaded. Exactly how long this will take will depend a lot on the speed of your internet connection. If you have a super fast broadband, it'll only take a few minutes. On regular broadband, it can take about 15 to 20 minutes. On a dial-up account, it can take a lot longer. In fact, there is such a lot of data here that your dial-up might time out and you'll have to reload it. But the good thing about FileZilla is it will tell you if any transfers have failed so that you can upload them again. Okay, that's all done, so all I need to do now is log off the server and log on to the setup for WordPress. Okay, you need to come here to this page, the installation page, which will be your URL. In this particular case, it's anothercompany.co.uk. If you've got it installed in a subdirectory, like I have here, which is WordPress, you need to come to that and then wp-admin/install.php. If you're installing this in the root directory, of course, you wouldn't have the WordPress directory. You just go to your URL /wp-admin/install.php. Then you need to fill in this information here. You want the site title. Let's call this Sam's blog. Username, the default one is admin, and it's best to leave it at that. You can always add new ones later. You want the password, and then put it in again. your email address, and then you want to either check or uncheck this box here, allow my site to appear in search engines like Google and Technorati. Good idea to say yes, and then simply click on this button here, install WordPress, and there we go. WordPress has been installed, so I can click here on the login button, enter the username and password, and click on login, and there we are, it's all set up. And if I log out again and just go to the main site here, there we go, there's the blog all installed. So there you go, that's how you can install WordPress manually if you don't have the luxury of an auto install script. So it's not all that difficult really.